Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. I'm your host, Dr. Angela Chester. Today we are talking about the countdown to greatness. My guest today is author Michael-Carter-Griffin. He's a retired CFO for Moore County and Moore County Schools. He's out of the Southern Pines, North Carolina area. So his book, Countdown to Greatness, is designed to ignite and reignite an individual's awareness of their potential. The book reminds us that all individuals have greatness within them and that we all have potential, that we all have an ability, that we have the ability to make a positive difference in the lives of people around us, the ability to make the world a better place. We all have greatness within us. It is up to us to share it with those around us. It's time to inspire. It's time to be great. Well, anyone who talks about their book like that, has to be on my show, because I am here to do what? Inspire, enlighten, and empower you to be your best self. So let me tell you a little bit more about Michael. He was born in Williamston, a small town in down east North Carolina, and he is very close not only with his parents but with his siblings as well. He married Kathy in 1987, and they have 2 sons. Well, raising a family gave him a new perspective on the importance of his role as a loving husband and father. He has coached his son in numerous sports and just doing all of those things as Coach Dad that he really, really wanted to do. He is a 1985 graduate of Liberty University out of Lynchburg, Virginia. And as a native of Virginian, I have to give a hoo-hoo to Lynchburg and Liberty University. He took his accounting degree to Pinehurst, North Carolina, and his first job was as a regional accounting firm. After 2 years with that firm, he was hired in 1987 as CFO at Moore County Government in Carthage, North Carolina. During his 17-year service with the county, he obtained his CPA certificate as well as various designations and certifications as a public financial officer and local government official. He has worked in the private sector as well as CFO of Pine Needles and Mid-Pines Resort in Southern Pines. Serving on this family-owned golf resort gave him an appreciation for business. Well, in 2007, he returned to public service as CFO for Moore County Schools in Carthage, and he has served for 8.5 years until his retirement in December of 2015. He feels honored and privileged to have worked in that capacity. Well, without any further ado, let's bring Michael on. Hello, Michael. Thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you for being on the show.
Dr. Angela, great to talk to you. I appreciate your time, the introduction, and looking forward to talking to you a little bit today about my book and Countdown to Greatness.
Yes, sir. I absolutely love it. And what a great title. Who doesn't want to be their best self? I know that I want to be my best self, and I know my listeners want to too. So we're just going to jump in if you don't mind. And the first matter that I want to talk about with is what inspired you? Because that's what we talk about here, the inspiration, the enlightenment, and the empowerment of our listeners. So what inspired you to write Countdown to Greatness?
I would say my life mostly as a parent of my 2 sons, also as a husband. I wanted to be a good husband as an example for my children. My life and my career at work, my service to community, all those things, I was able to work with great people that inspired me. And at some point in time, I began to write down small little, I'll call them chapters, about life, how to handle life, how to work with people, how to develop leadership and teamwork that I wanted to share with my children. And as they got older, they said, Dad, you should put that in a book. So that's sort of what I did. I put it in a book, I organized it into chapters. I would say people inspired me to write the book because I wanted people to understand that greatness is within them, and they have the ability to make a positive difference in the lives of others each and every day. And that applies to all of us.
And I'm so glad that you mentioned the time frame of each and every day, because I think that people really don't think about the day-to-day, that they think about a particular event or an instance that happens, but we really do have the power to make people their best, or encourage people to be their best each and every day that we are exposed to them. I love that answer. Now, some people will say, well, you know what, there's always a new author coming around. There's always someone saying that I have a great book. Well, I believe that the best person to ask this question to is the author, because you have a very unique perspective, and that's because you wrote the book. So my question to you is, what makes your book unique? What makes your book different?
I'm going to give you 3 answers to that. Specifically, it is a countdown. Countdown to Greatness is written in chapter format, but the chapters are presented backwards. Starting with chapter 10. We start with chapter 10, we end with chapter 0. So that's unique, it's different. I do that to sort of open up the mind and open up creativity and let people see things in a different way and know that, you know, it's okay to be different and present things differently. That's one particular aspect of the book that I think is unique. The other is I tried to make this be a very short read. It's about a 15-minute book because I use different typesets, some very large print. I do it for the purpose of this is a book people can read in a short amount of time, and also they can go back and read it again and again as they need to. So that makes it a little easier to read. So it's a short read, it's a short book, and it reads almost like a PowerPoint presentation because there's graphs and there's charts. And once again, it's not only information, but it's also how I present it in order to make it memorable. It's graphs and charts or pictures. People can relate to pictures. If you can match information with creativity, it makes information easier to read so people can apply it directly in their lives, whether it be work life, family life, community, whatever they're involved in, they can apply these principles to ignite awareness of who they are.
Well, I love it, and I appreciate the fact that it is a short read, because when you travel, I always take a book with me, and I am guaranteed, because I tend to fly from coast to coast, that I'm going to have a layover. So a short read or a quick read is a plus for me. I'm not always looking for that 400-page novel, but I want some information and feel like I've accomplished something in these beautiful layovers that they give us. So thank you for actually writing something that's a little bit shorter that you're able to digest in those moments. Well, in your writing style, how did you determine that you were going to create it in a countdown? So I guess my question to you in part is, did the reverse come to you first in that, hey, maybe I should do it like a countdown? Or did the title of the book come to you first and then you determined that it needed to be like a countdown?
Actually, I would say I got the information organized. I had it in 10 chapters initially. I thought, what's the best way to present this? I started to organize it. And then I thought to myself, you know what? I think I'll present this. I'll add one more chapter, like an introduction, and then I'll have 10 chapters. One more equals chapter 0, so it ended up being 11 chapters. But I really thought of organizing it, presenting it backwards, and then I thought, wow, it's a countdown to greatness. And all of the information was provided basically as summaries of classes I went to, courses I took, books that I read, that I know that my children and others don't always have the time. They've got work responsibilities, people have family responsibilities, different things are going on all the time. So I wanted to organize a lot of information in short, condensed format so people could have the advantage of this information, the classes that I took, but they can access it very easily and refer to it as many times as they need it. So the information came first, got it organized first, and then Countdown to Greatness ended up being a perfect way to organize it and present it into a book.
I love it. And I don't think I've ever, just me personally, I don't think that I've ever seen a book that was written like a countdown, even though it has countdown in the title. Bingo.
Right.
And, it so makes sense. Because when we talk about planning and we talk about this vision that we have for ourselves and what do we want to do, one of the things that we talk about is you start at the top of your vision and you work your way backwards. You reverse engineer it. You take the steps backwards. Why not read the book the same way? Kudos, my friend. Kudos. I think that is awesome. I think that is very ingenious. I've never come across that. I think that is so cool. And speaking of that, because it's almost time for us to go to break, but I want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to find you on social media to pick up a copy of the book. Could you please tell us where do we get a copy, how do we get a copy, and how do we follow you on the internet?
You can go to my website. It is michael-carter-griffin.com. Information about the book is on the website. Information about ordering either ebook, soft copy, or hard copy, that's on the website. You can also order at amazon.com or barnesandnoble.com. And you can actually reach me. There's a way to email me from the website.
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, listeners, we need to take a very short break here, but when we get back, we are going to continue talking about your countdown to greatness. We'll be back right after this.
Smell Good Spa for the women who are making a conscientious change in their personal care products. Specializing in signature fragrance oils, hand-dipped incense, and wholesome bath and body and personal care products. Smell Good Spa. Use code HELLO25 for 25% off your order. Live good, feel good, smell good wholesomely. SmellGoodSpa.com.
Back. Thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. I am your host, Dr. Angela Chester, but my guest today is author Michael Carter-Griffin, and he has written a really cool book entitled Countdown to Greatness. He's out of the Southern Pines, North Carolina area, and we're having a great conversation about how do you walk in your purpose? How do you walk and shine your light? Now, you guys know that I am a firm believer that just because I shine my light and you shine your light does not mean that we're in competition with each other. Instead, we illuminate the way for others to gather, and that's what we're doing today. So, Michael, I want to ask you this question. How do your life experiences fit into the book, or do they fit into the book?
They do, and once again, most of it as a parent, if you're a parent, you know you always want to teach your children values and how to understand themselves, how to live their life, and how to believe in themselves. Believing in your potential is a key to success. And as people get older, there's a lot of pressures, a lot of issues that people deal with that sometimes send them towards a negative perspective. And it's easy to fall into that. But continuously believing in yourself, continuously making positive steps is critical. That applies to my life as a parent. It also applies in my career. I was able to work on a number of teams, work teams, and I see potential in employees. I would see potential in people, things that I could sense they knew that they could do more and wanted to do more. So I would try to provide them some skills, some encouragement, some perspective on, hey, well, let's work together and see what you can do with this. So as a parent, as a spouse, as a leader in my work organizations, I try to always see potential in people and sort of use that as a model on how to present the information that helps people in a sort of foundational format, step 1, step 2, step 3, so that they could see to learn to believe in themselves, because it's very important that people have others around them that believe in them, whether it be parents, people they work with, but it is more important, in my opinion, that they learn to believe in themselves. I think that's a very critical step, and this book promotes that pretty much throughout the book through quotes and different comments about believe in yourself, believe in your potential, not just because I'm saying it, but it's there within you at all times.
And you made a very valid point. I think I have to agree with you on that. It is important for the person to believe in themselves as much as it is for other people to be able to see that light in them as well. But, you also mentioned something else, and that is encouraging others. Just a little side question. How important do you think it is for someone to encourage another person in their day-to-day life, like percentage-wise? How important is it for us to be a cheerleader for someone else or just an encourager?
I think it is so important. I think part of it is our purpose. I believe that everybody has the same purpose in life, which is to make the world a better place. And how we do that is making a positive difference in the lives of the people around us. And that means a smile. That means a hug sometimes. That means a kind, positive word. No matter what you may be going through internally, you never know what the other person is dealing with. To give them some sense of encouragement and positivity is inspiring. And I've told people numerous times, whenever you're feeling down, go out and help somebody. Go out and inspire somebody. And I'm sure you know this from your work, and I've looked at your website and I see what you do. When you work to inspire somebody, it's a continuous cycle. It's like a river that flows back into itself. You inspire others, and it turns right back around. When they get inspired, it inspires you in turn. So I believe it should be hopefully part of your just daily routine to seek out and encourage people, because it's something that you never know if somebody needs it or how much they need it, but it always makes a difference.
Yes, it always makes a difference. And I don't think that people really understand how important that encouragement is. And I loved how you said sometimes it's a hug, sometimes it's a smile, sometimes it's just kind of sitting there quietly and just letting the other person be and just saying, I'm with you no matter what. You want to talk or you don't want to talk, I am here with you, and sharing that experience. You really said something there. And it does empower you. I know that when I can fire someone else up, when I can inspire someone else, and they're like, thank you, I feel as though I have walked in my purpose. You are absolutely right. I used to think, it's so funny because I used to think that people were not quite being honest when they were saying, well, it doesn't matter if I inspire one person or 1,000 people. That one person makes a difference. Being a young person, I didn't quite understand that. I understood the words, but not exactly. And as I became older, I understood it really is that one person can truly make a difference. You're so right. Now, getting back to your book, when you describe your book to someone that you have met for the first time, because I'm pretty sure that you go out to, various social events, and someone says, so you're an author. Tell me about your book. How would you describe your book to them?
Well, I would try to, once again, be short, sweet, and concise, but I would basically tell them the book is about them. This book is about the individual reader. It's written to the individual reader so that they can see themselves in the book. And also, once they see themselves in the book, they can see others in the book. I would tell them that the book is 10% silly, 10% funny, 50% information, and 50% inspiration. Now, that adds up to 120%, so that just makes it a great book right out of the gate. So I try to make it interesting and a little bit funny, but basically open up their imagination to say, you know what, I think I would like to read that book, because the book is designed to help people. You had mentioned how, as a young person, I felt the exact same way. I didn't really know the power of inspiring others and encouraging others, but as I worked with people and spent more time with people, I did realize it. And I think that as young people, if they read this book and they see their potential and they start making a difference in the lives of others, knowing they can do that from an early age, it's just unlimited the amount of inspirational power they can deliver to the people around them.
They really can make a difference. Now, what would you say is just in case we had someone who has joined our program a little bit later, what would you say is the primary purpose of Countdown to Greatness?
The primary purpose is to ignite an individual's awareness of their potential. And I want people to, and I'll say it this way, I want people to believe in the miracle they already are, so that to help them believe in the miracle they are meant to become. What that means is you've got greatness inside you right out of the gate. It's there. It's there in everybody. And everybody's going to make a difference in the world in a different way because they're unique, they're special. They have a purpose that is to make the world a better place, but everybody's going to get there a different way. I want them to see that they've got greatness, and also they have the potential to make even a bigger difference with people if they will follow their dreams and get in their lane, do what they know they can do to make a positive difference for the people around them.
I love it. Now, what ideas do you have for any future books? Look at me. I've got you writing, you're about to author another book. So do you have any future ideas, or is there another book kind of simmering in you, do you think?
There's actually two. One is really a direct follow-up to Countdown to Greatness. It is called Pyramids of Greatness, and the lead comment is greatness is all around you, embrace it, live it. And if you look at Countdown to Greatness, I have one pyramid in there. It's called the Zone Pyramid. It talks about how we find that undeniable feeling of purpose. This book, Pyramids of Greatness, will be filled with other graphs and charts, mostly in pyramid format. And once again, it's information that helps people understand life, understand themselves in a picture, in a graphic format to help them realize, okay, this is not terribly complicated. It's an easy concept. It might be hard to apply at times based on your circumstances, but they don't have to spend a week of their time going to a seminar if they don't have the time. Seminars are great. Leadership books are great. All those books have a tremendous purpose and make a difference because I've read books and I've been to seminars, but not everybody has the time or the resources to do that. So this, once again, we put information in short, condensed format so that they could use it in their everyday life.
Now, when you, and this is a question that I always ask of my authors that I have on the show, and that is about ideal surroundings or situations, conditions, or atmosphere, because everyone calls it a different thing. And for movies, we have this this idea or this picture of, you're going to go off to the log cabin and you just cannot be disturbed because you're writing this book and you're, typing away and ripping pages. And though we use computers nowadays, some people still like, the art of a typewriter. So my question to you is, when you're writing, do you have a certain environment that you need to, or atmosphere that you need to create in order for you to be at your best?
I do like it to be quiet, but I'll tell you very simply what I do is I take a piece of notebook paper, I fold it in half, it looks like a greeting card, and then I handwrite chapters. And if I do another book, Pyramids of Greatness is going to be, it'll be a countdown, and it'll be 4 pages. Every chapter is 4 pages. So take about a piece of paper, fold it in half, and you got 4 pages. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. I like the feeling it gives me. It's like an artistic inspiration of handwriting. Now, not many people can read it because my handwriting's not great, but I have to print it eventually or put it on a computer. But I like to do it that way. And then I've got 10 or 11 chapters, and then the next step for me is finding the just a little bit of quiet time to organize it so it's sort of like a foundation and it goes in countdown order. So that's sort of my lane. That's how I do that. I know other people, everybody's going to have their own unique style and environment that they need. For me, really just a quiet room. I sit in a quiet room. I've got pictures of my family that I can look at all the time, and that sort of inspires me to move forward and put things down on paper.
And you're so right. And I love asking that question because everyone has a different answer. It's never quite the same. It may be it needs to be quiet, but then there's always that explanation that comes after the comma that it's guaranteed to be a little bit different for each person. So I absolutely love it. Well, it is time for us to go to break, but I want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to contact you once we're done here and to pick up a copy of your book. So, Michael, would you please let everyone know how can they follow you online and where can they get a copy of your book?
You can follow me online at michael-carter-griffin.com. All my information is there, as well as book information, how to order ebook, soft copy, hard copy. You can also order that on Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. My biography, my contact email is on that website, and I encourage people to contact me and let me know what you think of the book.
All righty. Well, listeners, we need to take a very short break. We'll be back right after this.
Hi everyone, Dr. Angela here. Did you know that Daily Spark is now on Facebook? That's right, you can visit with me at facebook.com/Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. I want to know more about what you're thinking. I'd love to know which interview did you find the most entertaining or the most informative. I want to talk to you, and I want you to be able to talk to me. Simply visit facebook.com/Daily Spark with Dr. Angela.
And we are back. Thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. I'm your host, Dr. Angela Chester. My guest today is author Michael-Carter-Griffin, and you can find him online at michael-carter-griffin.com. He has written an awesome little book called Countdown to Greatness. And why do I say little book? Because he says it is a quick read. So you guys, there's no excuse for you not to get this information because it is a shorter book so that you can consume the information in a day. I love these types of books because, like I said before, I'm able to read them in my layovers when I'm traveling, and you're able to kind of digest them and go, wow, that was really awesome. If you think you missed something, guess what? You can read it on your return flight. That's just my 2 cents worth. That's how I use the shorter books. So, Michael, I want to ask you this. How can Countdown to Greatness help people? I know that so many authors want to write and they want to make sure that the readers get something out of the book. How had you planned on your book, Countdown to Greatness, helping the reader?
What I hope that it would do for somebody is help them to see that they are the only person like them ever. There's never been anybody like them before. There's nobody like them right now, and there'll be never another person like them forever. There may be people that look like them. If you're twin or triplets, or you have brothers and sisters, there may be some people that sound like you. Everybody, every single person is different. We were all made differently. We are all unique. And what that means is, if people can understand that they are unique, they can understand, well, if I'm one of a kind, well, then I have a purpose that is also one of a kind. And, my hope is that people will read the book and become inspired to be who they are, not somebody that somebody else may want them to be, or somebody they think they should be, or somebody that society thinks they should be. They need to be who they are. And the way they do that is to follow some of the principles in this book. It talks about learning, how we learn, how everybody's different. School may be taught the same way for everybody, but everybody learns a different way. Some people are really great listening to a teacher, Some people, like myself, I have a hard time sitting still and listening for a long period of time. I might do better reading or actually hands-on learning. Everybody's going to learn differently. Everybody's going to make progress differently. But when people see themselves as individuals, they suddenly can see themselves making a difference as an individual. And that's as an individual and also as a member of a team. When you're working, when you're in a class, when you're a member of a family, you all work together, hopefully, to make life better for those around you. And I do believe that at times, what things that happen in the world, there's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of destruction and issues that cause us to get fall into despair, to be upset. I can't believe this is happening. Right. I've told people many times that what you see is based on what you look for. If you want to look for negatives, they're all around you. If you want to look for positives, they're all around you. And they are so much more powerful. So I want people to see themselves as individuals. I want people to see themselves as agents of being positive. In other words, if they can be positive for others, other people can follow in the path. It's easy to be negative and just kind of sit there and not channel that energy in a positive direction. If they can channel it in a different direction, then they can take something negative, they can make it positive, and they can make other people see that, and other people want to follow that same example. So, my hope is that everybody reads this book, because it applies whether you're 8 years old or 108. It applies to every single person. I want people to see themselves as agents of positivity. How can we make people inspired based on what's happening around them? And I can tell you, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, I promise you that there are people around you that need encouragement. And you can make a difference for them every day consistently. And everybody has the power to do that. Everybody has the power to inspire. And if people see that, then it becomes like a domino effect. You inspire somebody enough, that same person is going to start to inspire other people. It's a pyramids. It's the dominoes. It's a continuous cycle of positive inspiration for people. And I want people to see that they are the ones that can make that happen, not people around them. People around them can make it happen too. I want them to see inside themselves. And lastly, I'll say that greatness lives inside of everyone, and I believe it shows through in 5 specific ways, and they're mentioned in the book. Strength. People have strength and courage, and then people have faith, hope, and love. Those 5 things can change somebody's life. They're already there. So use them to help you believe in yourself, and use them to help inspire others to believe in themselves.
I love it, and it's so true. Just the power of encouragement and just being that positive person. You can really tell who a person is just by who they are when they're kind of sitting there all alone, and you kind of walk over to them, and everyone has had this experience when you walk into the room and you go, it's just something about that person that draws you in, or it's just something about that person. They just always seem to be, just so positive or so happy or just so willing to give of themselves. And that's really true, because people can spot the person who's faking, the person who's pretending, the person who's only so about being, that encouragement. People can really tell. So you're telling the truth there. Now, you describe your book as a 10-15 minute read, and we've made reference to it throughout the entire show, that it's a quick read, it's a short read. But I want to make sure people understand that that's a good thing and not a bad thing. Why is that important?
Well, I think I mentioned this earlier. Life is so fast-paced now. We have cell phones. We're always on the go. We're always have pressures of time and answering emails and texting. it's helpful to look to a book like this and say, you know what, I'm going to sit down for 15 minutes and read about different aspects of life and how I can see myself in a positive light, see my potential, see what I can do. And the reality is all these items are taught in so many different ways, whether it's in the classroom or if you're on a sports team. They're all taught in a certain way. This book puts it in a condensed way, a short way, an easy way, as a reference point for somebody who wants to read the book, share the book, read the book again. I've read the book numerous times, and I've encouraged people call me and ask me a question about something. I said, go read chapter 7. Go read chapter 8. Just look at it. Just study that a little bit, and let me know if you have questions. It's written in a way that's it's intuitive. People read it. They'll understand it. It's easy to understand, and they can say, you know what? I always wanted to go to a leadership seminar, and it was going to take a week long, and I just don't have the time. But now I have an idea of what it is. And when you talk about, for example, children in school, there's so many things they have to learn all the time, whether it's biology or math or a foreign language, all good things to learn, all important. They don't always learn about life skills and self-belief and character development, how teams work, all those things that they're going to learn. They'll learn it the hard way. That's one of the aspects of life that's a positive thing. I talk about it in the book. But the book is designed as a easy, quick read so people can look at that and say, you know what, I think this book applies to me and it applies to all the people around me, and I want to do what this book says, or at least give it a try.
Well, I'm going to ask you a little bit of a different question. And that is, because I like to try to mix it up a little bit, for those of you guys who tune in every week, and thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark every week. And Michael, that is this question. I want you to describe Countdown to Greatness, the overall message of your book. Can you describe it in, let's say, maybe one or two sentences? And what are maybe one or two hashtags that would be associated with your book?
One or two sentences. I'll repeat something I said earlier because I just love saying it. Believe in the miracle you already are. Believe in the miracle you are meant to become. And hashtag potential. Hashtag leadership. Hashtag greatness.
I love it. Yes, absolutely. Well, Michael Carter-Griffin, thank you so much for having spent time with me. You have inspired my day to continue to walk in my purpose and do what I feel that I have been called to do for this lifetime of mine. Thank you so much for walking in your purpose as well and inspiring everyone who not only has picked up a copy of your book, but who have the opportunity to listen to you today. Thank you so much for being on Daily Spark with Dr. Angela.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And listeners, thank you so much for joining in on this particular Monday. It is not happenstance that you are here. There was some little nugget that you needed to hear today, and I hope you were able to pick up on it. Now, Michael, before we leave, for the very last time, I want to make sure that everyone is able to follow you on social media and get a copy of your book. Can you please let our listeners know where they can do that?
The website is michael-carter-griffin.com. There's tabs across the top that tell you about how to order the book. You can order an ebook, soft copy, hard copy. Tabs across the top give you a book trailer, book video, and also an email contact if you'd like to send me an email.
Alrighty, listeners, now you know exactly what you need to do. Well, it's time for us to go here, but I want you to, of course, have an awesome, awesome day today. May the Lord continue to shine His face upon you. May you receive His grace and His mercy in all that you do. Until next time, everyone, shine your light. Bye-bye.